remember how the courtroom lights felt like spotlights in a nightmare. I'm clutching the edge of this cold wooden bench, knuckles white as the murmurs swell. I can't let them see me tremble. Then the question hovers. What did she record? And why would it shatter my world? I step forward, voice barely a whisper. I'm Clara Bennett, a single mother, and until last month I thought my home was safe. I pause as the judge's gavel gleams under the glare, each second stretching like a drawn-out scream. My heart pounds louder than the shuffle of papers. I glance at my daughter, Lily, her small hand twisting the hem of her dress. I have to protect her truth. Then I recount the first time I noticed the hush, the strained smiles and sideways glances in my own living room. Then the notes left by someone who claimed I was too clumsy to manage anything. Then the day my housekeeper, Maria, quietly slipped me a USB drive. My breath catches as I imagine what lies inside. What will everyone believe? And then, the courtroom holds its breath. What happens when the footage speaks louder than their whispers? I am Clara Bennett, and I used to be proud of the life I'd built for Lily and me. I wake before dawn, the unease in my chest soothed by the soft hum of my oven as I bake fresh cinnamon rolls for my daughter's breakfast. I always wanted her to taste warmth and love the minute she opened her eyes. Then I tie my apron, the familiar fabric comforting against my skin, and breathe in flower-dusted air. I teach 4th grade at Lincoln Elementary. I stand behind my classroom door each morning, greeting 30 eager faces as the fluorescent lights flicker awake. I love seeing their bright eyes, unconcerned with the world's cruelties. Then I guide them through multiplication tables and science experiments, my voice firm but gentle. My students call me Miss Bennett, though most days, I feel more like a juggler trying not to drop any plates. I am a single mother of 1. Lily is 7, sharp as a tack and twice as curious. We share a small brick townhouse with ivy crawling up its walls. A cozy living room where we read bedtime stories under a patchwork quilt I stitched myself. I wanted our home to be a fortress of safety. In the afternoons, we'd dance barefoot, in the kitchen to old Motown records, her laughter echoing against the pale blue walls. Then I'd wipe flour from her cheeks, and she'd giggle. "You're the best cook, Mama." I inherited this house from my grandmother. It stands on Hawthorne Street, a block away from the school where I teach. I painted the front door cherry, red because she loved roses, and the neighbors say they see them bloom all year round in our window boxes. I water them every Sunday before Lily's ballet class. I believed care could make anything flourish. I've fought to keep custody of Lily ever since my divorce 2 years ago. Her father, Tom, visits on alternate weekends, always punctual, always polite. I nod and smile at him in the hallway when he drops her off, nod and smile when he picks her up. I didn't want conflict to spill into Lily's world. Then I remind her to hug him goodbye. She does, with a polite squeeze, and sometimes I catch her watching me with worried eyes. I work late at the school at least twice a week, grading papers by the glow of a desk lamp. I write lesson plans on sticky notes in multicolored stacks, each color signifying urgency. I thought I was organized, prepared for anything. And then I carry my laptop home, cross our creaky front porch, and tuck Lily into bed. I kiss her forehead and whisper, "Sweet dreams, my brave girl." I kept our life tidy: school, home, homework, weekend park visits, baking projects. I even joined the PTA, attended book club meetings, and organized the annual spaghetti dinner fundraiser. I chatted with neighbors over white picket fences. I smiled at the mailman and remembered his son's name when he asked. I wanted to be the reliable one, the mother, the teacher, the friend. Then I felt a quiet pride settle in my chest. I never imagined a single crack in that facade. I never suspected that the very hands I trusted to scrub our floors, lace our curtains, and water our plants could harbor something darker. I hired Maria 3 months ago, reliable, soft-spoken. with a gentle smile that reminded me of my grandmother. She worked silently, washing dishes, dusting bookshelves, folding laundry. We never talked much beyond polite greetings. I thought that was fine. I valued privacy. Then I offered her homemade cookies one afternoon, and she accepted with a nod, saying, "Your home smells like kindness." It was only after I found the note, left on the kitchen counter in handwriting not my own, that I realized something was off. It read, "She's too clumsy to even keep her house tidy." Clumsy? I stared at the words, astonished. Our home wasn't perfect, but it was ours. Then I felt a prickle of suspicion. Who would write such a thing? Who would undermine me in my own sanctuary? And then, as I stood there, the late afternoon sun casting long shadows across the tile floor, I noticed a faint glow beneath the bookshelf, an LED light blinking softly. My breath caught. Is someone watching me? I remember the first time I sensed the shift, a misplaced teacup in the morning light. I set it down on the side table, only to find it later in the sink, water sloshing at the brim. I must be losing my mind. Then I chalked it up to exhaustion, late nights grating and early dawn. Baking. I told myself it was my own fault. I began to notice the small things. I poured milk into Lily's cereal bowl, and Lily frowned, whispering, "Mama, this tastes sour." Sour? I sniffed the milk. It was fine. Then I saw condensation on the fridge door. I wiped it away and blamed the humid spring air. I told no one, not even Lily. I held the memory close, like a thorn in my thoughts. I started leaving sticky notes on the fridge. Check milk date. Do not forget to water roses. Pick up Lily at 3:30. Organization will save me. Then I found one of my own notes crumpled in the trash, but with a line crossed out. Pick up Lily at 3:30 became pick up Lily at 4. I don't write like that. I unfolded the paper with trembling fingers and saw faint smudges of ink. Maria's script, perhaps? I shoved it into my pocket and forced a laugh that echoed hollow in the empty kitchen. I spoke to Maria more, requesting small favors. Could she double-check my pantry inventory, adjust the thermostat, move the living room rug? I need to know where things go. She would nod, silent as a shadow. But then I'd find her standing too close behind me, breathing, warm against my neck as she passed. My skin would prickle. Why is she watching me like that? Then I blamed myself for overthinking. I recalled dinner parties with friends, Lily's teacher colleagues, my book club sisters. I served my famous chicken pot pie and watched them nibble politely, their eyes darting to Maria in the corner, eyes narrowed. Later, one of them sighed and said, "Clara, you're wonderful, but maybe slow down. You always seem frazzled." Frazzled? I blinked, hurt. I excused myself to the powder room and stared at my reflection. Dark circles, trembling lips. I'm not frazzled. Then I scrubbed at my face until it stung. I caught Maria in the hallway one evening, her silhouette backlit by the porch light. I asked, "Maria, do you ever find things missing here?" She looked at me with those dark eyes and tilted her head. "Only what you misplace yourself," she replied softly. I clenched my jaw and nodded, but inside I seethed. Why is she so calm? Then I walked away, heartbeat hammering like a warning drum. I tried confiding in my sister Jenna over the phone. "I think someone is messing with me," I whispered into the receiver. Jenna's voice crackled with concern. "Clara, it's been a stressful year. Maybe you need a break?" A break? Yet I couldn't rest. I replayed every moment. The shifted teacup, the sour milk, the crossed-out note. I hung up, frustration coiling in my chest. I'm not imagining this. I laid out a plan. Tonight, I would stay awake. I would catch the intruder. I set my laptop on the kitchen table, opened the live cam app, and watched the darkened living room. I will see the truth. Then I curled up on the couch, eyes fixed on the screen, willing myself not to blink. The lamp's hum filled the silence, and the house settled around me. My own breaths sounded too loud. At 2:14 a.m., I saw a movement, a figure, drifting across the room. My heart slammed. I fumbled for the volume, straining to hear. The figure paused by the bookshelf, reached up, and slipped something behind the spines. What is she hiding? I held my breath so long my lungs ached. Then, the figure turned, Maria's silhouette again. Her head tilted slightly, and she watched the camera as if she knew I was there. She's mocking me. I bolted to my feet, nearly toppling the laptop. No more hiding. I crept toward the living room in my slippers, every creak in the floorboards, magnified. I scanned the shelves, eyes stinging from the screen's glow. And then, I saw it. A tiny red USB drive tucked behind a row of old classics. My hands shook as I picked it up. Proof. I could almost hear the judge's gavel now, ordering the world to listen. I returned to the couch and inserted the drive into my laptop, the port clicking as if heralding my victory. I opened the folder and saw files labeled CCTV entrance, CCTV hallway, CCTV kitchen. She recorded my every move. I hovered over the first clip, finger trembling above the trackpad. Then I watched the timestamp flick to 2 weeks ago. Me, dropping Lily's backpack by the door, hugging her goodbye. Innocent. Then another clip. Me standing at the counter, chopping vegetables. Suddenly, my knife slips and blood spurts. I gasp at my own clumsiness. Then Maria hovers, eyes cold, whispering, "See?" "See what?" The screen went black. And then, the laptop froze. The tension coils tighter than ever. What will I find when I reboot? I wake gasping, heart hammering, the screen's blackout echoing in my skull. I clutch the USB drive like a lifeline. This has gone too far. Then, I decide, I need Maria to confess. I invite her into the kitchen under the pretense of needing help with dinner. My hands tremble as I lay the drive on the counter between us. I watch her expression, cold, unreadable. I say, "I saw you on my security feed." My voice cracks. Don't pity me. Show strength. She tilts her head and smiles, quietly beautiful. "You shouldn't be snooping," she murmurs. My blood runs cold. She knows exactly what she's done. I hold my breath. Why? Why are you doing this to me? My words echo off the tile. Then she steps forward, the knife block casting long shadows on the wall. "Because you're weak," she says, voice soft as a breeze. "And they deserve to see you for what you are." My knees threaten to buckle. My daughter's safety, my reputation, everything is at stake. I think of Lily's trusting face this morning, the way she hugged me goodbye before school. I cannot let my daughter grow up believing her mother is clumsy, broken. Then I slam my fist on the counter. You can't hurt her, and you can't hurt me anymore. Maria's eyes flash. She lunges, fingers brushing mine as she grabs the drive. The metal cuts between us, a spark of panic. This is more than sabotage. It's a siege on my life. I twist, trying to pull it back. Her grip tightens. I taste iron, my own fear bleeding through every nerve. Then a crash. The kitchen door flies open. Lily stands in the frame, eyes wide, a toy rabbit clutched to her chest. "Mama," she whispers. My heart stops. I realize I'm shouting at Maria in front of my daughter. Shame and relief crash together. I need to protect Lily, not scare her. I shove Maria away and scoop Lily into my arms. Her small body trembles against mine. I whisper, "It's okay, baby. Mama's here." Maria backs away, expression unreadable, and disappears down the hallway like smoke. She knows we'll meet again. I press my cheek against Lily's hair, tasting tears. Then the house feels emptier than ever. I grip the USB drive and vow, I will finish what I started. I will expose her. For Lily. For me. My hands shake, but my resolve burns hotter than fear. The echo of Maria's footsteps fades, leaving only the drip of the kitchen faucet. And then I realize I don't know how much footage she's taken, or who else she's shown. What dark secrets lie in the other clips? I sit here, trembling, as the courtroom door swings open. Then I see him. Mr. Patel, our next-door neighbor, carrying a laptop and a hardened look in his eyes. I didn't expect an ally, but there he is, my last hope. I can't believe he came. Then the bailiff gestures, and he takes the stand. I stand, voice quivering. "Mr. Patel, what did you capture on your security camera?" He clears his throat. The silence is heavier than lead. Then he presses play on the laptop screen. The grainy footage fills the courtroom monitors. Maria slipping through the side gate at dawn, skulking toward my back window. I recognize her coat. Then she carefully unscrews the camera lens and cradles it like a prize. I lean forward, heart pounding against the oak lectern. Then the footage jumps. Maria returning at midnight, unscrewing a smoke detector and placing a small recorder inside. I feel ice crawl up my spine. She's been spying on us day and night. Then the jury gasps. I swallow hard and address the judge. "Your Honor, this proves she intended to manipulate every aspect of my life." My voice grows steadier as I realize the weight of the evidence. Truth, finally, is speaking. Then Mr. Patel adds, "I also recorded audio, her whispering over the footage. They must see her fail." The playback crackles. Maria's voice, calm and cold, echoing through the speakers. I hear betrayal louder than thunder. I feel tears sting my eyes but refuse to blink. Then I pace before the jury, narrating every moment of my humiliation. The shifted teacup, the bogus notes, the staged clumsy accidents, all orchestrated by Maria. I hold up the USB drive I kept hidden in my pocket. The judge's gavel glints behind me. This is my redemption. Then the prosecution lawyer turns to the jury with Mr. Patel's sworn affidavit in hand, mapping each date Maria appeared on camera to the notes I found. I can almost taste victory. Every lie Maria planted is exposed. Then, the judge leans forward, peering at Maria, who sits stone-faced, unable to meet my gaze. I glance at Lily, seated in the gallery, eyes wide with hope. I promised to protect her, and now I will. Then the judge raises his gavel. The hush that follows is absolute. And then, my world waits for a verdict. What will the judge decide? I rise as the judge's gavel strikes the bench. 3 firm, taps that echo like a heartbeat. I'm alive. Then he speaks. Maria Lopez is hereby found guilty of unlawful surveillance, tampering with evidence and endangering a minor. My knees go weak, and I grip the edge of the podium to steady myself. I feel tears pooling as the courtroom exhales. Justice at last. I watch Maria slump in her seat, handcuffs clicking shut. The steel weight behind her wrists feels smaller than the burden she lifted from my shoulders. Then the bailiff moves forward, and she's led away. The shuffle of her footsteps fades, replaced by the soft rustle of jurors gathering their notes. They believed me. I turn to Lily, waiting in the gallery. I see her small hand wave, tears shining in her eyes. My own tears spill over as I hug her, tight beneath the bright courtroom lights. "You're safe now, my brave girl." Then I whisper in her ear, "We did it." Her arms wrap around my neck, and I feel her little heart pound against mine. I step down, each footfall a release of months of fear. The aisle feels wide enough to carry us toward a new dawn. I can finally breathe. Then reporters stand, pens, poised. But I only focus on Lily's smile. The red front door of our home comes to mind. The cherry paint bright against the ivy, promising warmth. I collect my belongings, my lesson plans, the USB drive with every cruel clip, and a single red rose from my grandmother's garden, pressed inside my notebook since the trial began. This is our victory. The courtroom doors swing open, sunlight pouring in. I blink against the glare, free at last from shadows. I step outside with Lily's hand in mine. We've reclaimed our life. Then we pause on the courthouse steps. She looks up and asks, "Mama, can we go home now?" My heart soars. "Yes, honey." I lift her into my arms and kiss her forehead. The morning air smells of promise. And then, as we walk away, I feel something shift inside me. What will our new beginning look like? I learned that truth doesn't need permission. I almost believed the lies would define me. Then I realized that even in my darkest hour, my voice mattered. I stood in that courtroom alone, yet surrounded by the echoes of my own courage. Then I saw Lily's face light up, and I understood that bravery isn't the absence of fear. It's pressing on despite it. I know now that resilience blooms in the most unexpected soil. I will never doubt my instincts again. Then I promised myself, and every parent, every person who's ever felt diminished, that you deserve to be heard. I deserve to be heard. And then I recognize how the smallest acts of kindness, like offering Maria cookies, can mask the deepest betrayals. I won't let my kindness blind me again. I carry with me a lesson etched in every heartbeat. Vigilance and love can conquer manipulation. Then I look at my daughter, hand in mine, and I vow to build our home on trust, not on fear. I will water our lives with honesty, and I will guard our sanctuary with unwavering resolve. I close my journal. This courtroom was my confessional, but now it's time to share my story with you. If you've ever felt unseen, unheard, or underestimated, know that your truth carries power. Then I invite you to join me. Share your experiences in the comments, so we can remind each other that we are never alone in our battles. I lean toward the camera, voice steady. Then I say, if my journey moved you, please like this video. Then share it, because someone out there needs to know they're not clumsy, they're not broken, and their story matters. I pause, heartbeat softening. Together, we reclaim our voices. Then I smile and add, subscribe for more confessions, more courtroom truths, and more stories of survival. Because justice isn't just a verdict, it's a promise we keep alive every day. I close my eyes and take a steady breath, the courtroom's hush still ringing in my ears. I open them and look straight at you. My witness, my confidant. I'm Clara Bennett, and this was my truth. If my story moved you, please tap that like button to let me know you believe in the power of your own voice. Hit subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss another confession from the courtroom of real life. And if you've ever faced betrayal or fought for your family's honor, share your story in the comments below. I'm listening. Until next time, stay brave, stay vigilant, and remember, your truth matters.